boys lie.
And
Hey, what's it called? Paul. I don't know if you're from this part of Tampa, but they have a song. We be like, what they be like? Niggas be like, we all the way live, all the way live,
oh,
all the way live. I be trying to tell niggas about that Tampa dance culture was crazy. Like for like 2008 to like 2013, niggas was lit, kid.
shit, I know exactly what song you're talking about too.
That was back when niggas like Tom G was snapping.
That's Jasmine's friend's brother who made that song.
Really
Yeah.
legit lit. I remember that they had that dude that bot nigga do that bot. Tampa got some hits. And don't
Well,
forget Al snapping too. Just for Tampa,
this
nigga.
is Al Stafford. Nah, but
Hey man,
Tampa
but
do
shout
they have a
out
little
to the
run.
fans. Shout out to the homies. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to the fucking football enthusiasts that get up early in the motherfucking morning, get they fucking parlays right, get they fantasy teams right, get they drinks and snacks and everything together because they know we got a good day of football coming, man. Oh man, Paul, we's at week 15.
Week 15, I mean, it feels like almost halfway done with a couple of the Saturday games and a Thursday game. Like it was
Literally.
a little off this week.
Facts. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Saturday, bro, you know the NFL is eating right now with new TV deals and everything like that because they can play football on whatever day they want. There's not a single day they can't play football. Remember, it used to be like Christmas was the NBA held down Christmas. If there was Christmas came on a Sunday, niggas was playing football on Saturday. But like, you feel me? Now the NFL can do whatever the fuck they want.
I think they were being a nice guy, and then they were, you know what? Nice guys don't make money. We gotta
Fact.
we gotta turn into the villain. We gotta take over every fucking holiday.
Literally. And I think it comes down to the fact that like baseball was America's pastime for so long that like football was just slipping. The NFL was just slipping under the radar until like the last like 5 years, and then they said, "Oh yeah, we taking over the shit. Fuck all of y'all. We let y'all slide for 100 years."
We're gonna have the flag football Olympics and shit going on. So like it's turning international.
Imagine Justin Jefferson.
Oh, and
What on what
I
on
don't know
one
what the
corner
rules are.
for
They're
five
gonna
yards?
have to. I don't know if they're gonna let the NFL players go.
They have to because you see what they did with the NBA. They got to. So it's gonna be Justin Jefferson versus dude from Iran.
See, and it's only like 3-on-3 too. So like or some shit. It's like 3-on-3 or five. It's not like a full 7-on-7. It's like it's gonna be smaller things. So it's like, bro, that's gonna be kind of wild. It's
It's gonna be 105-3.
gonna be like Thursday night.
Imagine the rivalry. Imagine Jalen Ramsey guarded a receiver from Japan.
And I want to know who. Like, if you're only taking like 10 dudes total, like that's a tough job. You're gonna that's a real tough. I don't want that job.
And it's different from the NBA because the NBA season is right after the Olympics is right after the NBA season. The NFL season is you at least get some break time. So they got time for motherfuckers to rest up, heal up, do all that good stuff.
I feel like it's because of that, it's gonna be a younger person's thing. I feel like the vets that want their off season, that want to rest, that have done this shit for year in and year out, they're not gonna want to really go.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, motherfucking Tyreek Hill's coming, and
I think Tyreek will want to go.
they probably gonna have Tua at quarterback and Joe Burrow, but he's hurt, so they're probably gonna have Tua and Jalen Hurts.
Right, they're gonna send fucking Brady over there.
No,
They're gonna let Brady's the vet go over there.
We're better Brady like the veteran, like they bring. You know how they brought one young nigga for the dream team. They bring
Yeah,
one
they're
vet,
gonna
and
bring him in. That's why Bill has been stinking it up, where he's low key has been working on the Olympic team.
I'm crying. Oh no, you know they're giving that shit to. They're gonna try to give it to. Why am I catching the blame? 49ers coach.
Shanahan.
Yeah, but it's gonna end up going to McDaniels.
Oh yeah, that's in my boy. McDaniels and Tyreek take over.
Yeah, it's gonna be Tyreek McDaniels and Tua headlining the team.
Oh
They are
yeah,
gonna have Jalen Ramsey on defense.
yeah, I like that.
It's gonna be the Dolphins versus the world.
You know, Dolphins versus the world. Like, bro, you got a lot of Dolphins on this squad.
You're gonna be like, hey man, you asked me to put them together. Teams here.
Yeah, and we win it. 100,
Yeah, but hey,
100 points per game.
I'm telling you.
Number shit. You know, enough of the what could be's with all that. We got this is the pregame show. If you're watching us live, we're 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, well before your first kickoff at 1 o'clock. So we're here to break down the NFL slate, give out some picks, give out some locks, and I might even throw in a couple bets along the way.
And shout out anybody watching this on the East Coast, bro. You watching this bitch at 4:30 in the morning.
Shout
Nah,
out
not
to
the East Coast, the West
and
Coast.
and this was if you're a UFC boxing fan, the fights went crazy last night. So you was probably up to a good 1 in the morning at least until.
Facts.
So
So
you
shout
with us?
hey,
Let's ride, boys.
I was about
First
to
game
say
on the slate.
maybe they did a me and they just didn't go to sleep and they just started watching this shit the next morning. Like they just got done smoking, they're just about to go to sleep now.
That's
Oh, them boys is up. Fuck it, I'm up too.
that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
First game on the slate, we were just talking about it. Might as well start with them. 1 o'clock, Dolphins, Jets, rival game. It's an 8 point spread. The spread was a lot bigger, but the way Zach Wilson and the Jets beat the crap out of their last team, putting up 30 points. Zach Wilson going for 300 yards. Now the spread's a lot closer. It is in Miami. Titans, Dolphins coming off a loss on primetime to the Titans, where they completely collapsed. Tyreek Hill will be a game time decision. It would really go down all the way to the wire kickoff before we know if he's going to play or not, which I think will affect this team kind of drastically. We saw how they looked without him whenever he was out from parts of last week. But yeah, Dolphins 8 point favorite to start up slate, going taking on the divisional rival, the New York Jets.
Ooh. So here's the thing, right? Obviously, I'm gonna pick the Dolphins over the Jets every time. Like right now, no Rodgers. Offense is showing up some days, abysmal the next days, and then I come to find out that my favorite corner, Sauce Gardner, is out here holding. Like I'm just not. There's no reason to be really high on the Jets right now. It's okay. Nobody's mad at you if you aren't. But them boys have been talking about Miami all motherfucking week. They're saying, "Yo, last year Miami collapsed to 8-3. They're 9-3." And after that Titans game, people are starting to get a little scared. Powell, what do you have to say to the naysayers about the Dolphins and the season that you guys have already had?
I mean, outside of the loss to the Titans, I would say we've beaten every team we're supposed to beat. We've lost the 50-50 games. I think that's probably the bigger key. Like, we got to turn those, but we're not getting blown out. Like, the 21-14 to the Chiefs came down to the last drive. The Eagles came down to the last drive. Um, then they ended up going up by 2 possessions, and the game was kind of over. But it was still a ball game in the fourth quarter. So I'm not too worried. And the Tennessee Titans was an utter collapse. That one kind of worries me because it's like, bro, like we were up by double digits with less than 4 minutes on the clock. There's no way we should lose this game. But those are just like this dumb moments. It kind of scares me to be like, it kind of reminds me of the Cowboys. Like it was giving me cowboy vibes.
Tony
Where
Romo Cowboys?
yeah, where it's like they're 10, yeah, they're a 10 wins team. Like they're gonna beat every team they're supposed to beat. But then they have these other tomfoolery moments where they're just like, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" And then and then all of a sudden when you play a good team, we lose, and you're sitting there like, "Well, that's the Cowboys," and like that's literally the vibes I'm getting. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I'm hoping we come in locked in. I actually what I'm really hoping for, and I don't want to hope for this, but I'm hoping Tyreek doesn't play and Tua does go out there, puts up 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. The run game's looking great. Like I'm hoping Tyreek don't play, and we look phenomenal, and we beat the Jets. We cover the spread. I still want Tyreek to play because I want him to go for 2,000 yards, but I think it will help the media narrative, at least on this Dolphin squad, if Tyreek doesn't play and the whole team still balls, because then you can't be like, well, it's only Tyreek. We can kind of be like, nah, we got a whole team that's cooking right here.
Nah, that shit's fact. I'm not gonna lie to you. The way Tyreek's been playing in some of these games, he might be able to hit that bitch missing a game and a half. Not gonna lie to you. But yeah, I think that's facts. I think I wouldn't call you guys the Cowboys per se, just because I've seen the Chiefs. I know what the Chiefs look like. The Chiefs will lose games, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, remember last year when the Chiefs lost to the Colts like week 3, and we're just like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, I've seen good teams lose. Just I've seen bad teams show up against good teams, and good teams do not expect that, and it take a second to adjust, and something happened in the fourth quarter that to seal the game for them. So I'm not mad at y'all for the games that you guys lose, especially since you guys are a young team, young quarterback, young receivers, young coach. So I'm not mad when your offense gets that. Well, Raheem Morset isn't that young, but just a young offense in general. So I'm not mad at y'all when y'all have those collapses. I'm a Falcons fan. I understand collapses happen, but I just don't understand why does everybody, whenever they get the chance, they gonna hate on the Dolphins. Like, this shit's crazy. Because I remember I used to hear you say shit like that, and I'd be like, Paul, don't nobody give a fuck about the Dolphins. But I was back when y'all was 8-8 every year. Now that y'all boys are looking like a number one seed or top 3 seed at the middle of close to the end of close out of the season, everybody is hating on y'all. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
Right. And I will say it's like if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
Facts. That's fact.
It was like I feel, and plus, like you said, we're young, so like this might be that first year. I just know second year, 2, year 3, year 4, like Jalen Ramsey's gonna be here for a while. Jalen Phillips is gonna get healthy again. Tua's gonna be here forever. Tyree seems to be loving in South Beach. Jalen Waddle's gonna resign. Like we have the core, and I think we're gonna do something special. And this is the game where we can't lose. Like
Yeah.
it's the Jets. It's like the whole Jets fans will not live this down. This will be their Super Bowl.
Yeah, literally.
And the reports Aaron Rodgers might be playing next week, so Zach Wilson really might have nothing to lose this game.
I feel like it's gonna be a good game in the first half. I don't think the fourth quarter. I think you guys take charge in the third, and the fourth quarter is kind of it's not in doubt anymore.
All right, yeah, we're both on the Dolphins, and that I think that the biggest spread on the slate. Oh no, there's one other. There's 2 other ones that are either the same or a little bit more. But most of the games rest on this slate is pretty close. Next one, the Titans are 3.5 point favorite coming off the win against the Dolphins, against the Houston Texans. Texans coming off a loss to the Jets. Both teams, Titans played the Dolphins, Texans played the Jets last week. But no CJ Stroud. That's the big story here. He's going to be out for this game. That's why the Texans are 3.5 point underdog on the road here. We do get the what's the old boy's name? Davis. Uh,
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. Yeah,
I
Davis Mills
forgot
is
about shit.
back as the starter for the week without CJ Stroud. So I mean, he's been there. He's been in this spot before. He started a whole season last year. So I mean, you can say he's somewhat of a vet, even though it's only like year 3 or 4, which is kind of crazy to say. But like at least he's not just being thrown into the fire. But he's taking on the Tennessee Titans, where the Titans are favorite at home.
Oh, see, I prefer the Titans as a home dog, me personally. But no CJ Stroud, no Tank Dell. It's kind of hard to pick a Texans team, but you do have to remember that they do got Derek Stingley Jr. in that defense. And what we've seen in the past, or like a reoccurring trend, is quarterbacks coming in for one game and just leaving everything they have, putting everything out there because they know they're like, this is the best way I can Matt Flynn this shit and get me a motherfucking a deal after this. So like, I can see Davis Mill doing everything he can. I can see him coming in with everything possible, and I don't think the Titans have a lot. So like, if somebody really, if in the battle of Davis Mills versus Will Levis, I could see Davis Mills outclassing him.
They could. I mean, Nico Collins has been balling, but I'm one thing that points out to me is this: like the Texans, they're 7-6. Like they're in the playoff hunt. Like they have the Colts are the team in front of them at 8-6, coming off their win on Saturday. But that's also divisional. Like they're playing for like a not first place in the division because the Jags are sitting at first. But I mean, the Jags are only really a game and a half away. Like it
I
is
say
still kind of open.
I'm about to say this season, this division is closed as fuck because 2 weeks ago the Texans beat the Jags for number one in the division.
Yeah, so like I think they're gonna come in and like really be playing. Like DeMarco Ryan's gonna have that team like hype. Like, okay, we're 7-6. Davis Mills, like you've been here, we've done that. The run game is okay. The defense is playing great. And I really think that the Titans, yeah, they're at home. That's where we like to pick them, but we like them as a home dog. But as a home favorite, it doesn't really have that same excitement to them for me. And I just think that it's gonna be. They had their big win on Monday over the Dolphins. There's dumb lit coming back, and I just think this is a week where like the Texans, yeah, a lot of people are gonna be scared to pick them. Probably a lot of people are betting on the Titans because CJ Stroud's out, but I think DeMarco Ryan. This is where DeMarco Ryan kind of hang his nuts and it's like, yeah, I'm in that Coach of the Year conversation along with. I mean, there's a couple of coaches that are like in that conversation right now. It's gonna be a close race.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, what is the Titans defense ranked?
They're really good against the run. They're a top five run defense. Against the pass, they're kind of lower tier to middle of the pack. They play, but they played really good, like because they load the box. So they play a lot of things in front of them well, and they stop the check downs and stuff. But like a deep shot over the air is sometimes open because
And
they
they don't
play
have and they
so
don't
up.
have any they don't have any crazy injuries.
On the no, not really. Derrick Henry will be playing, D Hop will be playing, Levis is playing, um, Simmons will be playing too. Like they're for the most part, the team is pretty much the same.
I would love to take the Texans, but this year I've been noticing that I've been getting a lot of whenever it's a really, really, really tough decision, 50-50 decisions, and I defer to the favorite or the home dog, I usually win. So I'm gonna take the favorite on this one.
All right, it's a close one. I mean, if the Titans win this one, their playoffs hopes are still kind of alive. Like
Oh, stop that. Do not lie to the niggas, Paul. Do not lie to the
they,
niggas. The niggas do
I
not
mean,
lie
they're
to
talking in a
you
different
just like
tune after this week if they win.
you're just like the Steelers niggas that keep saying technically no, just like the Jets fans that keep saying technically we're not mathematically out. They were not mathematically. Shut your ass up, nigga. Y'all done.
Yeah, it's in the realm of possibility.
I gotta say if you was the Mike Tomlin Steelers team or Jerry Jones Cowboys team, you can Jerry Jones your way into the playoffs. You can Mike Tomlin your way into the playoffs. The Titans is not gonna Mike Babel their way into the. They're not gonna Will Levis their way into the playoffs. I
Yeah,
refuse.
no. I mean, unless Will Levis turns gear. But then our next game, another 3.5 point favorite at home. The Packers, 3.5 point favorite in Lambeau, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Packers coming off, I mean, they were riding the red hot. They're beating the top teams, and then they lose to Tommy DeVito and the Giants last week. And the Bucks are coming off a close game with the Falcons where they went away with the dub.
16 seconds left. Scored a touchdown. Fourth quarter. Go ahead touchdown. Baker Mayfield to Cade Odd.
Hib,
And he grabbed his nuts in his mind.
he did grab his nuts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you just gotta let him hang, bro. As long as you gotta let him hang.
Uh-huh.
Hey, well, how do you feel about this? I mean, Packers 3.5 point favorite. This is both teams sitting at 6 and 7 in the NFC right now.
There's a
Bucks
lot of
Bucks are number one in the division, and the Packers are in the hunt for the playoffs. So like both teams are in a must-win type scenario right now.
Yeah, nah, 100%. I think anytime I want to talk good about the Packers, they end up losing. Every time. Every time. I want to be like, yo, the Packers. Yeah. But if I say some shit like, oh, Jordan Love only looks good for 10 plays a game. Oh, them niggas finna. Oh, he's like, oh, 10 plays? I got you for 12. So like you feel me? And the 12 be just enough to win the game. So like this Packers team is very 50-50. I think they come in ready, but I'm gonna go back on that Matt LaFleur 16-1, I guess now in December. So like I'm gonna go. I gotta ride with Matt LaFleur, and at the same time, that game was close that they lost. So I'm not really mad they lost last week, even though they shouldn't have. So I expect the Packers to come in. I expect Jordan Love to kind of tear up this Bucks pass defense because Desmond Ritter just threw 300 yards on them last week. So I'm expecting Jordan Love to lock in with Christian Watson and them boys really do the damn thing. But and I don't see Baker Mayfield really showing his nuts again another week in a row.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks rush defense is really good, but their pass defense is the worst in the league. Like Carlton Davis needs to be on trial.
Yeah,
Like it is bad out there for what they be doing on defense. And like Jordan Love, I think this is gonna be a game where he throws for like 300 yards. Like he's like Desmond Ritter did last week, like he said. But like Jordan Love, if it's there, he has the weapons and Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Reed. So like I think the defense is just gonna it's gonna be like a game where he comes out. I think they go to an early lead type shit too, because like they come out, score opening drive, touchdown. Then they come out and score like another field goal, and it's like 13-0, like the start of the second quarter. And like they're the Jordan Love and they're playing with the lead, they tend to look really good. It's like whenever they're coming from behind is whenever they start to make mistakes. But when they're playing in rhythm, things are going their way. The Packers team looks pretty decent, and I think this is a Bucks team where their defense is going to allow Jordan Love and then to play in rhythm, and that's the one thing you can't let them do. So I think I really like the Packers here. I think I would even go as far as say that I'm gonna add them to one of my best bets at -3.5. Or if that scares you, make them the first leg of your parlay, just the Packers money line.
really. Oh, okay. I didn't know they was going double D best bet.
And you gotta go with the Matt. I mean, Matt LaFleur was what 16-0 prior to last week in December. Now he's 16-1. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go back the other way. I'm gonna go fuck. That's like I mean, that one loss was an outlier. He knows how to
Yeah,
get.
no, that's real shit.
Then our next slate game, one of the not big, but bigger than 3.5. The Saints, 5-point favorite at home, taking on the Tommy DeVito Giants right now. Uh, Derek Carr, I will say, is a fucking dog. I don't know how he keeps willing himself onto the field, but he is. It's looking like he will start again. But the big story is Tommy DeVito and this Giants team is on a 3-game win streak. We were talking about how dead they was, and now they're 5-8, and they literally are a game away from in the playoff picture.
This shit makes no sense. Like, bro, why are motherfuckers with losing records keep getting in the mathematically in the way? Like, this team also has the Cowboys and the Eagles in their division. They already have two niggas taking those spots.
If they beat the Saints, because the Saints are a team that's in front of them in the playoff picture, they will be on top of the Saints. They move ahead of the Saints. So right now they're sitting at 12. Don't get me wrong. That's not a playoff team. It's in at 12. But every team that's 11, 10, 9, 8, 7 are all 6 and 7, and they're 5-8. And so like some of those teams lose, they get a dub, they skyrocket their ass up into the picture.
That shit is crazy. But it has to happen. Somebody has to make them win. Somebody has to win that motherfucker. So we'll see. But I think the biggest story from this Giants team is Tommy DeVito's agent and the fact that Tommy DeVito is like, you know how Pat McAfee love their Italians and shit. Like this nigga's like, I guess he's like one of the most Italian motherfuckers ever.
Have
Like
you
I guess,
seen him, bro? He looks like he's putting hits on motherfuckers.
but look, his agent's Italian, his parents are Italian, and I guess they own a plumbing company where they run, and it's like the Mario and Luigi like is like it's just Italian.
Italian.
Yeah, it's just as Italian as it gets. Like you
Tommy
feel.
Cutlets is his nickname.
So yeah, I mean, we rocket Tommy DeVito. Brian Daboll is showing that he's not a bad coach. I think more than anything at this last part of the season, because the Giants have had bad seasons. That's just normal. We see that shit all the time. But I think they usually give up closer to the end of the season. Like the only teams that really do great are like the Eli Manning teams that ended up like just finishing out the seasons, peaking at the end at the right time in the season. So I would love to pick the Giants in this game, but I'm not sure still.
Yeah, and it is in the dome where the Saints defense is fucking scary. Um, but the Giants team is tied for third in takeaways right now with 22.
Really,
Yes, and they're
really,
tied with the Saints with 22 takeaways. Both teams can get the ball.
it's gonna be a crazy game.
Uh, I I love the story of Tommy DeVito and the Tommy Cutlass train, but they're not like they're playing good football. Like he had 160 yards. They only really put together like three drives. And that's all they needed really. Just like three drives to win the game. And a couple they got a couple turnovers too. Like I said, like the takeaways are key to their part. Um the Saints, the Saints kind of do the same thing. Like their whole team kind of depends. I mean, I know they got Kamara, they got Olave, they got Carr, like they got weapons, but like offensively they struggle, similar to like how the Giants have. But it's like it comes down to the defense, ball position, the field goals. Like they really be playing hard nosed football.
Yeah, I mean, me as a Falcons fan would love to see the Saints lose because that means we would, if we get our win today and the Bucks lose, we get back to number one. Like we love that. You feel me? But I don't see it in the dome. I just think the Saints defense is going to come together well because they know that they really aren't in the playoffs. Like these motherfuckers are in the three-way tie right now, and they're just losing a tiebreaker. So I think this team comes in on a mission. I think Derek Carr continues to will himself, and then that connection he has with Chris Olave might show out. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna ride with you and take the Saints on this one, even though it would be beautiful for the bitch ass niggas to lose. And now we get an extra game on the ass for the
See, I want to see. It feels like it's so easy. This like the Saints defense is gonna bully Tommy DeVito. It's just
But it
how's
doesn't
it
go
go?
like that. Tommy D does not get hold.
No, but then I look at Derek Carr, who's not like I think he had like two interceptions last game. Like he is not the most secure man with the football. And I was coming to find out the Giants, one of the best teams, have taken that shit away with the Wink Markindale defense. And this is all in the last few weeks because if you remember, people were on that defense's head for like the first half of the season. They're like, this is not the Wink Markindale defense. This is abysmal. They get no takeaways, no sacks, they're not doing anything. But then now you check the PFF, Kayvon Thibodeau is a top 10 pass rusher. I can't remember who their linebacker is, like Okawi or something. He's a top five linebacker. Xavier McKinney's a top 10 safety. Like everyone on their squad on defense is now like top 10 in their position. And it's because of the last like 4 weeks, they're averaging like three takeaways a game. And that's also why the team is winning. Like you're you're getting the ball in good positions, and Tommy DeVito's capitalizing. I'm gonna go with the Saints, but I will not be shocked if we're sitting here texting in the fourth quarter like this is why the Saints suck. And it's because like Derek Carr has thrown like two interceptions or there's a fumbles and it's a ball game. Like I'm talking about it's like 17-17 fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go like you said, they're at home and they are the favorite. And I'm gonna just lean towards the favorite here.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do it, man.
And then the cheapest game of the season, Kev, you could have got tickets to this game for
45 cents.
45 cents. Two nickels, bro. I was talking about it the other day. I was like, bro, I was looking up the pack of blunts and I was just staring at them. I was like, I really could have gone to a football game today for cheaper than a pack of blunts.
No, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. They nosebleed seats.
We got the Panthers hosting your Atlanta Falcons, Kevin. Panthers are a 3-point dog at home. They're still looking for a second win. Falcons are looking to secure the number one seed again. They can't afford any losses. How do you feel this game's going to go? I mean, I feel like 3 points a little disrespectful.
Uh, it's only disrespect if you take it as disrespect. So like, oh man, I'm still mad that we lost last week because I feel like we should have a commanding lead over this division. Like there are 3 games where I feel like we should really like have not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If y'all like, because there was the Vikings lost, the Cardinals lost, like those are bad losses. But if y'all would have beat the Bucks last week, you're sitting at 7-6 with a chance to be 8-6 after this week, and you're looking like a good solid football team. That's a good program over there.
Yeah, literally, like okay, them boys is doing something in Atlanta. Okay,
Arthur Smith's job is secure at 8-6.
yeah, like it's secure now. They said they're not looking unless there's like a momentum collapse. I doubt that they're gonna look to replace Arthur Smith immediately. But I do think this year, whatever happens this year, is gonna decide next. No matter what happens this year, next year is gonna be decided like if we keep this motherfucker or not. So like, I just hope that we continue to play well. Jesse Bates is showing that he's a Pro Bowl safety. So with this Panthers team, we just have to beat them again like we did earlier in the season. They can try to keep it close early. We don't care. We're gonna fuck them up. They can try to do whatever they think is gonna make it work. We don't care. We're going to fuck them up. So I think if we come with that type of energy, everything will be straight. As long as we really come in ready to win, come in playing great football. We don't turn the ball over. As long it's in the game is in our hands the entire time. If there's any chance Young Hoku makes his field goals, like there, as long as we don't beat ourselves like we did last week, we're straight.
This is the rematch. Y'all started the season, first game of the season. Y'all beat them 24-10.
Oh, that was first. No wonder I couldn't remember it like that.
Yeah, Desmond Ridder threw for an astounding 115 yards. Bryce Young, 2 interceptions, 146 yards. Fuck, Miles Sanders was still the starting running back week 1. Uh, it's 2 different. I mean, y'all didn't. Bijan Robinson was scoring. Y'all Tyler Algier had 2 touchdowns himself. Uh, y'all look like the team that I was like, this is the team that I picked to beat the #1 team in the division. They were running the ball, playing great defense, and y'all's had y'all's ups and downs, but there's nothing about this Panther squad that has made me change my thought on them anymore. Like I had hope. They showed me that the hope was dumb, at least for this season. They need a lot of shit to fix before they can actually be a good team. I think 3 points is a little disrespectful. Like I know the Panthers are at home, but I wouldn't be shocked if this bitch is kind of filled with some Falcons fans. Like tickets that cheap, it's telling you one, the teams aren't supporting the local attendance is not supporting this team. Like no one's buying tickets. And to Atlanta and to Carolina, it's just that's like an hour flight. If you're flying, that's a 3-4 hour drive if you want to make the drive. Like that ain't too bad. I drive a longer time to go to fucking Miami than what you got to do to probably go to Atlanta to Carolina.
Yeah, that's fact. I probably spent and it's probably like an $80 flight, some cheap tickets type shit.
Yeah, you get like a Frontier ticket, bro. Like you're already getting 50-cent tickets at the game. You might as well get the cheapest flight too.
But imagine going to the game and your hot dogs cost more than your tickets. That shit is insane. And you go to the store, niggas talking about some hot dogs be $5. $5? My seats ain't even cost $5.
No, yeah, for real. But yeah, I mean the Falcons, yeah, had you up and down, but the Panthers are done. I think they don't have anything in them that shows me like they're gonna play for like to win. So I'm with whereas the Falcons, I think Artie Smith is a well conditioned team. Like this is well coached, and they're gonna play their brand of football. And their brand of football is play defense, run the ball, and let Desmond Ritter spin that shit every now and then.
And on a random tangent, somebody just texted one of the group chats, and they said that they lost their son to cancer a week ago. So fuck cancer, and anybody that's fighting their fight against cancer, please keep fighting. Please keep doing whatever you got to do to make it. We want to see you make it through. But yeah, fuck cancer, man. And the worst meme I've ever seen in my life was when they was comparing Young Thug and J. Cole. Well before J. Cole and Young Thug ever like got together on the songs and tours and shit, they'd be like J. Cole versus Young Thug. Then they'd be like Young Thug hates said fuck cancer. J. Cole, we still don't know his stance on cancer.
He has yet to speak out on cancer.
We still don't know his stance.
That's funny. Yeah, no, anyone out there fighting with anything, not just cancer, but any type of disease or battle, any type of battle that you're battling, we pulling for you.
Yeah, man. Fuck cancer. Shout out to Boost.
Both on the Falcons. On to the next game. 3 point. A lot of these games are 3 point slates. Um,
Really?
Browns.
Not
Browns
even
are
three and a
hosting
half?
the Chicago Bears.
Don't you just hate the 3 point slates? Because the 3.5, you could trust that. That is a little safety net in there. But three, you're just looking like, yo, bro, these niggas kick this field goal or fuck.
Yeah, the if they that the 3 points, that's the most common score they say in the NFL for a game. Like to win or lose is three.
Really. I can
Mm-hmm.
see that. The law of averages and shit.
So the missed field goals, extra points. The extra points are a big one because then later on that field goal, instead of the tie the game, that team wins by one because someone missed the extra point along the way.
Oh, for sure.
But we got the Chicago Browns going to Cleveland. Short road trip. I mean, Chicago to Cleveland, Chicago to Ohio is not that far. But they're going to take on the 8-5 Cleveland Browns. The Browns, I mean, just beat the Jaguars 31-27 prime time. Joe Flacco, well, not prime time, but Joe Flacco throwing for 300 yards, a couple tutties, really turning the clock back. And then you got the Bears, in their last four games are 3-1. With wins over the Lions, wins over the Vikings, wins over Carolina, a shootout against the Lions where they lost. But the Bears, with Justin Fields in the last few weeks, have looked a lot better. They're 3 point dog on the road, Kev. You think Joe Flacco and the Browns defense goes in for another win? Or do you think the Justin Fields team kind of looks nice again?
Bears team won last week, didn't they?
Yeah, they're 3-1 in their last four.
Sorry ass niggas. I hate the niggas. But hey man. I mean, I was talking shit. Remember when the Justin Fields came back, he asked me, how do you think Justin Fields will change his team? And I was like, no. Well, that was it. That was it. Just kept moving. I look crazy. I look quite crazy right now. But are the Browns in the playoff picture still?
They're 8-5. I know they're in the picture right now,
They're
but yeah, they're 8-5. Other um, if they lose this week, they will be tied with the Bengals and the Colts at 8-6, and they'll still be in the playoffs. They'll just shift from fifth seed to their six or seven.
okay.
If they
So I'm
win
not
this
gonna lie to
week,
you.
if they
I
win
don't
this week, they might be secured at the number five.
okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not the highest believer in Joe Flacco. I don't think Joe Flacco is gonna come out every week and just look like a guy, but he does look comfortable in this offense. And I've also seen this offense have like four other quarterbacks this year. So like I think Kevin Stefanski and the Browns coaching staff have a system for these quarterbacks, and Joe Flacco's look like he's the most comfortable in that system. So I'm going to trust this Browns defense to make Justin Fields look regular again. Like I think they've put together some nice wins. Definitely look good, and especially against there's a game or two that they really look good. I
The
think did you
Lions, both games against the Lions, they lost one, and that was their one loss in the last four. But
mm,
they were up that whole game. But then they beat the Lions last week, like handily.
yeah, so I think that DJ Moore to Justin Fields connection is something to talk about. But I like this Browns defense to continue to play well and keep their team in the playoff mix.
So I do like. So it's funny because Joe Flacco. Everyone knows Marcus, big Panthers fan. Everyone knows my group chat. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts versus Cam Newton debate has been a hot topic all year. And
Really.
he said, "Oh, something." And Corey said something about how Cam Newton is unemployed. He's like that unemployed quarterback. Why don't he got a job? And then he was like, "Bro, he's from class of 2011. Name me another quarterback from that class that's still in the league, still doing
Oh,
something."
set him up.
And then I came in, I'm just watching, but every now and then I like to throw in something. And I was like, class of '08, Joe Flacco, 300 yards, three touchdowns, and a win last week. And
green as fuck.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, you green.
I just had that one little time, bro. Class of '08, 3 years prior to Cam. My boy still spinning that shit right now for the National Football League. And I'm gonna ride till the wheels fall off, bro.
Paul,
Give me Joe Flacco on the Browns.
I would have fought you just off the fact that like compare their play styles. Like I would
Oh
have been
yeah.
like Paul. I'm like Paul, you really ain't shit. Because I'm
Oh
like,
no,
bro,
yeah. I threw that in there, and then of course Marcus was gonna, bro, he's a pocket passer versus and I was just I wasn't responding no more. I was just gonna sit back and watch what I started unfold in the group chat.
oh, Paul, you devious.
Yeah, because now I gave ammunition to the ops that was losing. But yeah, no, it's why I like Joe Flacco, and like you said, the system that he's in, like I said it when I came on, doesn't he look better than Deshaun Watson in that system?
Yeah.
In
But
our
this is
next
also
game,
the same system we saw what's dude from last season?
Baker Mayfield looked good in the system prior to the OBJ stuff. Who was their starter?
He used to be y'all backup
Oh,
quarterback. Like
Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby
yeah,
Brissett.
when I said
Yeah, he
Jacoby
is actually
Brissett
good.
looked decent, I was like, okay, this Brown system works. And they're
Um,
doing all this no Nick Chubb.
yeah, no, yeah, and no one's giving that credit. Stefanski maybe should be in that conversation too.
I do believe that.
Next game on the slate, 8-point favorite on the road are the Kansas City Chiefs coming off another loss where they take on the New England Patriots. But hold on, the Patriots coming off a win. Yeah, no, they coming off. This is a different Patriots, bro. This is, yeah, 28-18 win over the Steelers on prime time Thursday night football. New England Patriots.
These niggas haven't scored a touchdown in 2 quarters. And if they don't score a touchdown in the first half of this game right here, they've gone a full game without scoring a touchdown. I'm not trusting this Patriots team for nothing.
They are an 8-point dog at home for a reason.
For nothing. And you've seen how livid Pat Mahomes was last week. Because like, if they were to find a way to lose this game, I would not be surprised if like they got to blows in the locker room. Like, there's no way that this team can see what happened last week and even attempt to come out flat, even a little bit, or like play with their food even slightly.
Yeah, I mean they came up to that 21 point lead in this by the second quarter, and then the offense, and we're talking about the Patriots, everybody, and their offense is completely fell flat after that. Like, I would kind of be intrigued on taking the points with them, like just the +8, if they look good in the third and fourth quarter. If the offense was able to get the ball, but like it completely died after the momentum. Bailey zapped 3 touchdowns and then nothing else after that.
And the only reason why the Steelers lost was because they just can't score 21 points. Like, they can't score more than 20 points.
One thing that scares me though with the Chiefs is Pacheco is out, so
Ooh.
they're going to be having McKinnon, Clyde-Helaire going to be like kind of splitting carries this week. And Pacheco was a great runner for them, like in between the tackles. He was able to get them the first downs because this Chiefs offense really isn't really like overwhelming teams where they're like easily driving the ball downfield. So if they really don't have to worry about is Kelsey and the receivers, I mean, maybe you got to worry about Rice. Rashee Rice seems to be Pat Mahomes' new favorite target. Worry about those two. You really like Bill and them could have a game plan to keep this game close, but then it's gonna be like a Bailey Zapp turnover. And Zeke Elliott is the only running back on the roster right now, so Zeke is getting a full workload. That kind of scared me too. But I mean, he had full workload last week. He scored 2 touchdowns. He looked fucking great out of nowhere. But I think you have to go with the Chiefs here. Even if the spread is this big, I would lean towards taking the 8 points just because like 2 losses in a row, and they're gonna put up points. I think that's the thing. Like the Chiefs, I think gonna put up at least like 24 points, and that Chiefs defense is not gonna allow the Patriots to put up 20 plus.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs better come in this bitch and score 24 like in the first. I would say 5 minutes into the 5 minutes into the third quarter, they should have 24 points. And now they're starting to take their foot off the gas a little bit, and they'll end the game with like maybe like 32 type shit. This Chiefs team needs to show. I think more than they need to show, this team needs to prove something to themselves these next few games to show that like, yo, we're still this champ. Because it's bigger than just winning regular season games to the Chiefs. Like these motherfuckers are a dynasty. They're trying to put more chips in the motherfucking in the Raptors. You feel me? Like in the trophy case. So this is the team. These games, right? These next few games is the Chiefs are gonna show like, yo, let's get back into form. Let's show who we are, and let's go ready for the this fucking playoffs because you know we gotta make it to the AFC Championship. Minimal.
Minimal with that fan base.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it on the 1 o'clock games. The 4 o'clock games, we got the biggest biggest spread on the slate. 49ers, 11.5 point favorite, taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I do think Kyler Murray's still playing for his job right now. He's about to go out there and man on a mission. But the 49er team is just going to overwhelm this team. The defense is firing all cylinders. Offense is looking great. Brock Purdy's back into the MVP conversations, even though he's pulling up, as they say, like a Colts or Old Navy mannequin. The one thing about this game that's gonna piss me off is Brock Purdy's probably about to throw for 3, 4 touchdowns. And my dumbass act in my playoff spot in the Shams League, I forgot to bench Justin Herbert and start Brock Purdy because Herbert's done for the season.
Ouch.
And Herbert gave me 0 fucking points in the playoffs. And Ouch. I still projected 50-50 to win this game. So my team is that stacked. So hopefully I can still somehow get the dub.
But it's a playoff, so you got next week too.
No, this is a 1 week playoffs in this
one. Oh no.
Yeah. So hopefully if Brock Purdy goes out there and puts up like a 40 burger, bro, I'm gonna be pissed and I'm gonna be mad as hell that I did not start him.
Damn. And how much was the buy-in?
Oh, this was just a 25 buy-in. This is Shams League. This was the fun league. This is the handsome league.
The handsome league.
But I mean, yeah, Brock Purdy, 49ers, I'd steamroll them. If I had to do a final score prediction, it's gonna be like 34-17. And I think one of my best bets, 49ers minus 11.5.
I mean, you didn't even have to ask me. You know I was taking the 49ers.
Yeah.
You knew I was taking the 49ers before I even had to motherfucking say nothing.
And then the next game, kind of competitive. Rams, 6.5 point favorite at home, taking on the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are on a 4-game losing streak. They have not looked good. The offense has not been winning games. I mean, it has not been kind of rolling like it was. I feel like earlier in the season, we were really talking about the Commanders could be a team that might be fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the year. And then since then, they've kind of fallen off a cliff. Now they're 4-9. And then on the Rams side, they came. I mean, other than the overtime loss to the Ravens last week, which was a close ass game. I mean, they're 3-1 in their last 4 right now. So the Rams are looking a lot better now that everyone's healthy, and they're low key 6-7, right there in the playoff hunt. How do you feel about them taking on the Washington this week?
I mean, I agree with you that there was a point in time where the enemy we thought he really had us thinking that like, yo, this Washington Commanders offense is low key legit. We don't think that shit anymore. We're back to talking about, yo, get Ron Rivera the fuck up out of there. Free Scary Terry. And what the fuck? We're not even going to talk about the defense. But this Rams team has been showing promise. They're not good. They're not great. They probably haven't been good or great since they won that Super Bowl. That was literally the last good time that looked good to me. But this Rams team showed promise. That Kyren Williams running game is gone. It's been off and on, but it has been working this season. Cooper Kupp is always going to be a factor, and the way they have to guard him leaves other people open. So like the way that Puka Nacua has been taking over and really flourishing this season. So they're gonna figure it out, and we always got to respect Sean McVay as a coach. So I'm going to take the Rams, not because I think they're the greatest team. I just think they're the team that makes the most sense right now.
And I would say this Washington's pass defense is terrible. Their defense altogether is terrible. And this is coming off where the Rams played the Ravens and Stafford did 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kyron Williams ran for over 110 yards. Like the offense was doing their thing against arguably the best defense in the league. Which if they can do that against the Ravens, they'll be able to do it against this Washington team.
Mm-hmm.
Then our next game on the slate. This one I thought probably should have been prime time, but I'm not mad at the prime time game either. But our last 4 o'clock game, the Buffalo Bills are a 2 point favorite at home, coming off the Kansas City win against the Dallas Cowboys.
Who just came off of the Eagles win.
Yeah, they think Buffalo's 2 point favorite at home. I'm gonna come out and say it. Give me the Dallas Cowboys +2 as one of my best bets, and go ahead and put some on that money line. I think this Cowboys team. I still it's a combination of I think this Cowboys team really might be the best regular season team up there with the 49ers. And I think this Bills team is still not that good. Yes, Josh Allen is running the ball a little bit more, but they're still not at full strength. They're not they're not the Bills team that worries anyone going into the playoffs, I don't think.
I think otherwise. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't trust the Bills for nothing, I would say that the Bills are probably playing some of the best football in NFL right now.
You think so?
I think these last 2 weeks, I don't think like this is something that they can sustain. I think, and I'm also wouldn't be surprised if I'm one of the few people that actually think that. But I think this team is slowly peaking at the right time right now, and they look good doing it.
I mean, they're
But I'm not.
7-6. They got to keep winning.
I was gonna say, low key, I'm still not taking them, but like I do think this team is playing the best football. Because the only reason why I'm not mad about the situation that happened last week, because I was like, ugh. I mean, anything could have happened. It was only would have been down by it only would have took a field goal to tie it up if Kadarius Toney's touchdown had counted. I'm like, ugh. Anything could have happened in that situation.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's also I don't really like the Bills, but I just think this Cowboys. I think the one thing that had me feeling the weirdest was when I saw the Cowboys were a 2 point underdog this game. It might be a trap game. I don't know how many people are betting on the Cowboys, but I know I will be betting this Cowboys team.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. I'm not. I actually wouldn't be a game I bet. I think this game is low key going to piss a lot of people off and bust a lot of parlays because it would make so much sense to bet the Cowboys. But it's in Buffalo, correct?
It is in Buffalo.
The frozen tundra. As a Falcons team. I've had to play against that team in the snow. My first year of the podcast. That's not a game I want to go to. It's not a game you want to play in
It is
Buffalo.
36 degrees out there right now.
That is not a game you want to go play. But I just think this Cowboys team is legit. I think if there's a game that they lose, this is the game to lose. And what time is this game?
4:25.
You might get a text from me saying, "Hey man, I just checked the Bills injury list, but I'm taking the Bills." But I like the Bills to come look good in this. I just think the Cowboys just understand their position in the NFC. Like they're number 2, but at any point in time they can go down to 3 or 4, and they don't want to play the Eagles at home in the playoffs. So they're gonna fight for their fucking lives these next few weeks to make sure they get. They might not get home field against the 49ers, but they can get that home field against the Eagles.
Yeah, they have to win out, and they have to hope for the Eagles to lose one of their games because of the way their standings will be. But if that happens, they will be number 1 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now the Cowboys are 1 in the division, but the Eagles have to have 3 more conference games, and the Cowboys only have to like the Cowboys have played more conference games, and if the Eagles win out, which is 2 Giants games and then a Seahawks game, they'll be number 2. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. But
yes.
Our primetime game, this is why I'm not mad. This is a good game, well at least on paper. Jaguars are 3.5 point dog at home, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, Kev.
I
Lamar and
mean,
them.
so this is where my take on the Cowboys sounds crazy, right? Because the Bills sounds crazy because I would love to say that I just said the Bills are playing some of the best football, but the Ravens are playing the most dominant football, like in the AFC. Like the 49ers are the best team in the league right now. We know that. But the team that's showing that they're not letting other teams win this game, especially if you're not supposed to be here, is the fucking Ravens. And I think they do what they did to the Lions to the Jags, but it's not going to be at the highest scale, at the same scale.
Yeah, and I mean this Ravens team is dominating. Their one loss in their last five was to the Browns, 33-31, and
That's
that
some
was
bullshit.
yeah, one of the wildest games of the year. And then you have to go all the way back to October where they lost to the Steelers 17-10.
That's
Like
some bullshit.
straight defensive game. And then the other loss is an overtime loss to the Colts early this season,
But
22-18.
and Paul, on some.
Bullshit. So yeah, like they really have been the best team every time they played this year.
That so like you can't pick against the Ravens if you're smart. I think the only time it's good to pick against the Ravens is the last two games because they have locked up their division.
Yeah, and I mean Trevor Lawrence looked terrible last week. He was like playing on like a
Compromise.
yeah, like coming off the injury that he shouldn't probably I don't think he should have hurried back from. But it was against a very, very good defense in the Browns. But the Ravens are just as good of a defense too, just as physical. They're a very hard hitting team. I I like the Ravens and I like the spread at 3.5. I think that's one of my best bets I'm gonna take as well. So the Ravens by more than 3.5.
I'll definitely take that as the best bet because you know I love you a good 3.5.
And then our Monday night football game, Kev. I
There's
kind
only
of
one.
talked, huh?
There's only one.
Only one this time.
Oh wow.
This game got flexed into the Monday night game. I can't remember what game was supposed to be
I
here.
think it was the Chiefs.
Was it the Chiefs?
Who the Chiefs play again?
The Patriots?
Yeah, it was originally the Chiefs versus the Patriots, but they got flexed out to the Patriots.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. But we get the Battle of the Birds. The Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
I think 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, this is a game the Seahawks could have won. I think the Eagles are playing a lot of risky football. Very they weren't stopped. They haven't looked great on stopping third downs, and I think that's just I think the Seahawks team could have beat this Eagles team. I think they could have won this game. I think they match up really well against this team. And even how they played the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. Like they just showed that they can play good football against good teams. I don't think they beat the Eagles this week though. Eagles coming off a loss. Eagles knowing how precious these next few games are going to be, and especially that two games against the Giants, they're really coming. They really want to win out. I don't think there's too much on the line for the Seahawks to get these dubs. I think if this game had came earlier in the season, they would have bust their ass. But nah, I think this Eagles team has to is coming through to show them something, and they just caught them on the wrong move.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like the Seahawks in this spot. I know the Seahawks are coming off of two losses, or more than two, coming off four losses. Um,
Four
four losses in a row, but they played the 49ers twice in that span,
and the Cowboys.
and the Cowboys, and then they lost to the Rams 17-16. That was the game Geno ended up getting hurt, and Drew Lock came in and everything. But this, like this Eagles team, at least like defensively, they are not that good at stopping the pass. They're actually dead last in like metrics against the pass, and that's where I feel like the Seahawks. DK Metcalf has like he's coming off his best games. He's kind of heating up as the season's going on, and Tyler Lockett, he's always keeping pace. The rookie, Jackson Enigma Jigba, he's coming into his own as well. Like I think this could be a shootout. I really do. I think this really could be a game where the Seahawks. It's like the Eagles have won a lot of games, but every game has been close. Like people have had this idea where they've dominated every team they played along their win streak. They're winning by like one possession games, and the only reason why people think they're dominating is because they have a fourth down play that can't be stopped. Yeah, they're dominating the fourth down, but they're not dominating the game.
Yeah, but this isn't a game where you want to go for it on fourth down all the time.
Yeah, what like the Seahawks, I really think could put up this like Pete Carroll back against the wall. The playoffs is not out of grasp yet. You're definitely not winning division, but in the NFC, you're 6-7. You're technically in the playoff spot. Like that gives you a playoff spot right now.
Literally.
The Eagles, I mean, they are hurt. Darius Slay still out. Not Witherspoon. Darius Slay still out. Zach Cunningham still out. Cam Jargons, the center's out. That's the backup to Kelsey. So like Kelsey's having to play like every snap now, which he can do. I mean, he is a dog, but
Okay.
I mean, this team is banged up. Uh, Jalen Hurts fumble issue has became a big issue. I don't know if you saw the clip, but they have him doing a drill where he's just falling. Like they're hitting him with a pad and he's falling. He has like with the ball because um I don't know how true this report is, but like AJ Brown and some of the other players on the offense talked to the coach about like the fumbles are becoming an issue. Probably because you're on a 2-game losing streak. I don't know. AJ Brown was the same guy earlier this year who was screaming on the sideline. He wasn't getting the ball, so like he does seem to be like very vocal about some things. I don't know how true the report was. I did read it on Twitter though, and then next thing you know, I see the clip of him doing the fall in practice for a whole drill. And I was like, maybe this is something that they are trying to work on.
Yeah,
And
maybe this is something you might need to look into.
yeah, so
How
maybe
Brian
we see an
Windhorst.
Eagles team that doesn't turn over the ball and they dominate here and they actually do look a lot better. Or maybe we see an Eagles team that's playing limited to themselves because they're now focusing on like Jalen Hurts can't play as free as he wants to because he has his fumble in the back of his head at all times now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna rock with the Seahawks on a primetime dog here. Big prime. I mean, the Patriots did it earlier this year. I mean, I feel like the last couple of weeks the dogs have been kind of shining on at least like the Titans, the Giants over the Packers same day, Steelers, losing to the Pats. Like, there's been like a few the Jaguars when they who did they lose to like 2 weeks ago on prime time when Trevor Lawrence got hurt.
oh yeah,
Like there's been a string of dogs recently, and I'm gonna ride at least one of them this primetime games.
yeah, there has been. But remember the last primetime dog to lose?
Say again?
Remember the last primetime dog to lose?
Who?
The Seahawks versus the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, hey, but they showed up though. It was a shootout.
They showed up, but that's my thing. I agree with you wholeheartedly about your matchup, the matchups and everything. And I think this Seahawks team could beat the Seahawks. They could beat this Eagles team and really try to build some momentum to the playoffs. I just think they had the schedule makers just gave the Seahawks the wrong week. This is the lock-in week for the Eagles.
Think so. Yeah, no, I'm looking. It was week 13, Cowboys, Thursday night football, 41-35 over Seahawks. But then after that, it was a Sunday night football. The Packers beat the Chiefs 27-19. Jake Browning beats the Jaguars. This is before we knew Jake Browning was a dog. They beat the Jaguars in overtime. They were like 11-point underdog that game. Follow up
Yeah,
with the Pats beating the Steelers, where they were like a 7-point dog, and we're like, the Steelers should never be that big of a favorite. Um, and then the Titans or the Cowboys beating the Eagles. I guess that wasn't a dog, but then the Titans beating the Dolphins and the Giants beating the Packers.
it's a dog in the streets. Like, cause the streets
Yeah,
have to
it's
go with
barking. I can hear him barking right now.
Nah, I hear him.
And but yeah, no, I'm gonna go. I know you're taking them, but I'm gonna go a little against the grain. I'm gonna believe in the Seahawks. I'm gonna believe in Pete Carroll and this DK Pete Carroll and DK Metcalf. I'm gonna say now they're gonna win, and DK Metcalf's gonna have like 150 yards and maybe even 2 tutties.
And I'm not mad at you at all.
But we're done with the slate. We appreciate everyone there. Do you have any locks and dogs you want to give out before we head out?
Oh, locks and dogs. We might as well.
I know you. I
So
mean, you sounded like you're pretty high on the Eagles as one of your locks.
okay, I can lock up the Eagles. And I'll lock up the Eagles and I'll lock up dang, I dogged the Eagles last week and they dogged me out. I'll
They
lock up
did.
the Eagles and
You got like the Titans over the Texans, Packers over the Bucks. I'm looking at
I'll lock up the Eagles and the Browns.
the Browns over the Bears. Okay.
And then for my dog, I don't think I take I don't be taking dogs like that nowadays. But damn, the Cowboys are a dog against the Bills.
Yep.
Oh
That'd be your
yeah,
one dog too.
I'm dogging them boys.
I'm gonna have to. I think for my dog, I'm gonna go. It's damn. I do like the Cowboys as a dog, but you already took them. I could go Seahawks, but I'm gonna go an even bigger spread and give me the Texans over the Titans. Start off at 1 o'clock, and then for my two locks, I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I feel like they treat me pretty good when I lock them up. Falcons to beat the Panthers. I think that divisional game, but the Panthers look kind of dead. And then my other
Mm,
lock would be the Ravens over the Jags.
mm. Okay.
Yeah, I think that actually fuck it. I'm gonna switch my dog. Give me the Seahawks. I talked them up big. I do. I still think the Texans will beat the Titans too, but I think I feel a little better with the Geno Smith, not Geno, but the DK Metcalf pick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I respect it. I like the Seahawks as a dog.
All right, boys. Well, it's 9:35 over here on the East Coast. Anyone watching, got up early enough. We appreciate it. We'll see y'all. Hopefully, y'all tell some of the picks. We'll see y'all at 1 o'clock for the kickoffs, and we're gonna ride this weekend together. I'm Paul Picawino, joined with Kevin, Waterboy Savoy. This has been Week 15 NFL Picks Pregame Edition. As always, if y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.
Yeah.